Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Tuesday, July 16, 2024. Here for my weekly cross-stitching update. I'm a week and a day late, but I'm here, I have a lot to share, and hopefully I remember how to do this, because it feels like it's been forever. So I have a couple things I got. So I have the new releases from the Fat Quarter Shop, so I'll share those real quick. They have a new Stitch Cards set U. I'm curious, are they gonna stop when they get to Z? Or are they gonna tip out, do like AA? But this one has a cute little flag and other little quilt blocks, so that's cute. June's Sailboat is number 6 in the series of Shelf Life. That's a cute one. Then we have Hometown Neighborhood Beehive House. And Kind Words Are Like Honey, Sweet to the Soul. With a huge bee and a huge flower and a huge beehive next to the house. And then the mini Simply Signs, and this is a berry one. And it's got really light strawberries on there. I don't know why they're so light. They're just faint ones, and then and watermelon too, it looks like. Just not a berry. I don't know. Then there's a couple quilt ones. This is Hidden Stars by Kim Deal. It's all browns. Maybe those are the stars. Or I don't know. I don't know where the stars are. They're hidden from me. And then Strawberry Garden, which is a pretty book with this quilt on the front, and then there's some other ones that are like made with the same blocks that you can do as well. So that's cute. I flipped through it and the palette is very muted and soft, which is very nice. I also placed an order with Color and Cotton because my Those Who Sing pattern I'm doing, I was running out, or I did run out of Pine Tree, which is the color I chose for all the leaves. And so I placed an order. I think the new Pine Tree might be darker than my old Pine Tree, which is unfortunate, but I'll probably go ahead and use it anyways. That one has been bobbinated already. It's in here, ready to go for next time. But I also, in order to get make the shipping worthwhile, I threw in a pack of blacks. They had a pack that had 5 different blacks, and they're kind of, yeah, you can see they're a little bit different from each other, dark grays and blacks, just because they were, you know, you can use neutrals more often than you think. So this is Drosselmeyer, Featherweight, Coal, Paving Stones, and Rustic Black. So they're all like nice dark neutrals. And then they threw in a bonus, Rustling Leaves, which is a special edition. So that was a thank you from them just for placing an order. So that was fun. I was like, oh no, did I place, like they gave me the wrong one. And then I realized Pine Tree was in here with these, the one that I actually ordered, and this is in a separate one. So they have a bunch of these probably made up to just throw in, which is fun. So that was exciting. And I guess we'll just jump into travel stitching. I worked on Temperature Turtles twice since I saw you last on Sundays. This is my temperature design for this year. So here is where I am now. This is 28 count Caribbean Blue Jobelin by Witchelt, 1/1 full cross. And I think I had one more patch to do in the June turtle. And so I've done all of this in July. And I think this week I'll do the outlining for this turtle, the back stitching. And so I did 1 week, I did one length of thread over in the green and one length of thread over here. So there's a little bit more of this flipper to do. If you'll see, it's kind of this color right here, super, super, super dark, hottest color. 114 we got to, and 110 plus is my hottest color on the hot track. So And then this one and these two were like 103, 104. So I haven't stitched with my second hottest color yet, but I got to the hottest, which I haven't had a hottest color, and I believe this is my lowest color right there, which is 50 or below for the high. I haven't had both of those on the same year since 2017, which is the year I use for all of my examples. And so that was kind of crazy that it's been either too warm or too cool, you know, to hit both of them in the same year. So I got to both of them. Yeah, so this is definitely a warmer turtle. We kind of just cooled our way through the year, and then, now we're in summer. It's usually a lot more, a lot summery a little sooner, but it still got to summer. And then, oh, I never put this in my frame. I have my other kitty and heart right there. That's April. I finished June, which is what I was working on last time. So here's this one. So I need to trim this down slightly and put it in the frame. And that turned out really cute. These are 25 count white even weave, 1/1, half full cross. And I switched the kitty to be 535 instead of 310 to look more like smoky. So this one is like teals and greens and corals to be the strawberries. And then I got a nice decent start on July, because we had some traveling, so I was able to do a lot of car stitching. So here is what July will look like. It's got the kitty kind of walking towards us, and it's blues and yellow and green, more cooler greens than the other greens. And it's fun to finally have some true blues, because like January I thought would be blue, and it was those teal colors like they showed in the June one. So this one's actually blue. So here's my start on this one. I got to start on the kitty cat, and then I've been doing the blues darkest to lightest, which usually I've been doing lightest to darkest, but in this particular one it seemed helpful to do the darker ones first. Especially I did some of the back stitching along here because it helped kind of give some structure as I was working on the structure. So I am working on the last blue. So like this is all the way together here and here, but it's still missing here, and there's some bits over here through here. So here and here. The lightest blue is yet to be done, and then there will be more dark blue back stitching once the other colors are in. So that's fun. Got a great start on that. I did not work on Castle Homecoming at all since I saw you last, but I did work on Shine Bright Sampler a little bit. This is from the Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee book, and I'm doing the Shine Bright colorway you can find on the Fat Quarter Shop website. And I just did a little bit last Tuesday, like the 2nd, because it was my Simpsons day, and I needed to work on something else when I couldn't work on that one, to keep that one a secret. So here is this one. This is 40 count Morganite linen by Fiber on a Whim, 1/2 full cross. And I think I say a burgundy triangle and 1 strand of dark teal. So not a whole lot. I did that triangle and a little bit of this background on the bee. So there's still, I'm still quite a bit behind on this one. I think this is May's section. So yeah, it's behind. I have too many things I want to do, and my focus right now has been on family pieces. So this one has not gotten the love it originally was intended to get, but that's okay. So I think that was all my kind of miscellaneous things. And so then I also did work on Simpsons that day. I'll start way back at the beginning. Monday the 1st, I believe, was when I filmed last, I think. And that day I worked on my Tour de France stitching for Visit Endor, but nothing else. I did a little bit of travel stitching on Cats and Hearts June while I was at dinner with my family, but I didn't get to Simpsons at all that day. So I only got Simpsons once on Tuesday and only 187 stitches. So this is a miscellaneous pattern I found on eBay years ago. You can't find it there anymore. I've recharted it in my software so that I can use Pattern Keeper. And here is where I got to. I think I worked on white. Oh, I think I did his elbow as well. I think I did that. I have white on my needle, so I think I started doing the yellow and did one little short strand of yellow and then started filling in more white in his shirt. So I think. So 187 stitches, not a lot. And it's now at 53.02%. This one, I would like to get at least 300 stitches a month on it to finish it by my husband's 50th birthday. So I have it slotted for one more day. And so it was originally going to get 3 days this month, but since I missed Monday, the 1st altogether, it will only get 2 days. So hopefully I'll get enough to get up to the 300 mark on that last day. I have, at the end of the month, I'm going to be doing an Olympics challenge, and I used Simpsons for one of the pieces in that. So I'll talk about that more in plans. So hopefully it'll get one more day this month to get to my goal. Should I work on, I don't know what to, next I worked on Those Who Sing. I guess I'll go ahead and show it here. I've worked on this off and on a lot. I worked on it the 3rd and the 4th. I didn't work on anything but Tour de France Tour de France Visit Endor stitching, literally 25 stitches on Friday the 5th because I was gone at the beach most of the day. Then we had a house guest, so we played some games, and 25 stitches is all I could do. I was so thankful for that tiny day of Tour de France goals. But I am doing the Tour de France challenge where I stitch the number of kilometers that they're riding during the day on Visit Endor, and I'll show that in a little bit. I've been keeping up every day. I've managed to do that amount of stitches on that piece before I start my main piece for the day, except for the 1st. I didn't get to my main piece at all, and the 5th I didn't get to my main piece at all. But I think every other day I did manage to get both things done, which is really cool. So Those Who Sing got time on the 3rd, the 4th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th. So I worked on this quite a bit. And here is, let's see. Here is where it is now. So this is 32 count mushroom slushy. You can see it written right here by Fabric Flair, 2/2 full cross. And there are some specialty stitches, and I did some of those recently. What I did this time is I did this bird and like the trunks and stuff, leaves, some of the leaves until my thread ran out. And I did 6 flowers, these 3 and these 3. They're the last 3 flowers. And so they have the specialty stitches in them. There's satin stitch petals, and the middle is a crossed rice stitch, which is, I did 1 strand for the crossed rice and 3 strands for the satin stitch. Because drawn thread likes to have very minimal coverage from what I've found. They call for a 32 count fabric, only 1/2, which is very much too light for my taste. I always do 2/2 on 32 count. So my cross stitches are already 2 strands instead of the 1 that they call for. And so when I was starting out my satin stitch flowers at the very beginning, I tried the 2 strands they call for, just wasn't right. And so I did 3 strands and it's just right. So for me, I like to bump up a satin stitch with 1 extra thread beyond what I would do a cross stitch for on that count of fabric to make sure the coverage is nice. So that helps it be fluffy and good. So that's that one. I will work on this again for 2 days this week. It was gonna get another 2 days next week as well, but when I was looking at my calendar yesterday, I realized I forgot to schedule my second non-full coverage WIPGO piece. Because of the Olympics challenge, I think I forgot about it. So I want to make sure to get to that in July so I don't get behind on WIPGO. So I nixed my focus 2 days next week on this to put my WIPGO piece in there. Because I gave this extra stitching last week, we were away, and so I figured this is a great travel piece to take. I'll bring Visit Endor and then that one, and it was perfect just to have those two. So that one got 4 days this week, so it all evens out, but I was kind of hoping to give it a little extra time, but it'll probably come back out in August. So 2 more days on that this week, and we'll see how that can go. What is next? Oh, Grand Library Romance. This is my first WIPGO piece for July. And I have, WIPGO is with Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and I have 2 boards this year. So I have 4 calls, 2 full coverage, 2 non-full coverage. So this is one of the full coverage pieces, artwork by Amy Stewart. The Grand Library Romance is just the romance shelf of her Grand Library design. And I am working over here. So you can see kind of the outline of these. Yeah, just like an alleyway with cobbled buildings. And this stuff gets completely different colors. So I'm not down here yet, but I have a lot of stuff throughout there. Overall, I got 840 half stitches, so not too bad. 279 on the first day, 561 on the second day. So here is this one. I'm doing this kind of vertically, choosing the symbols, and then I'm going to work my way across because it's a kind of a long and skinny piece. It'll be easier to hold that way and easier to tackle than trying to move across the whole length of the top. Originally, I was thinking, oh, maybe I just was picking symbols in the farthest like single column all the way down, and so I picked the first color that way, and then I realized that I had been doing 10 by 10 squares selecting, but since it's the far side of the pattern, it's actually a 5 by 10 square because it's the end of the pattern and it isn't divisible by 10. So I went back up to the top and kept completing the 5 by 5 squares all the way down. So you can see kind of this little like pattern there in the edge. So that's kind of fun. I don't think I said, it's 40 count. Kept forgetting to look it up. I think it's, what is this? It's a 40 count linen that's kind of a grayish green color. Honestly, I can't remember. But it's 1/1 half stitches. They're very tiny. So that's fun. So my WIPGO goal for all of my pieces is just 2 days work. So that is complete now. And then I also worked on summer montage a wee bit on both Sundays since I've been gone. The first day was a rest day, which was nice on Monday because I missed, what happened there? Oh, I know what happened. So because I was not able to stitch more than that 25 stitches on Friday the 5th because we had been at the beach all day, I kind of shifted my WIPGO piece to Saturday, Sunday instead of Friday, Saturday to make sure that one got 2 days because my goal on WIPGO is 2 days. But then Sunday, I didn't have any time to work on my seasonal Sunday piece. So I bumped that to my bonus stitching on Monday instead of Tour de France stitching because Monday the 8th and yesterday the 15th were both rest days for Tour de France. They didn't bike anything on those Mondays. So I said I'll do 1 length of thread on summer montage for instead of my Tour de France stitching that day. So I did 87 stitches that day. Not a whole lot. This is by Pain Free Crafts, artwork by Janet Stever. And then this past Sunday, I did a normal rotation, 266 stitches. So that was nice. Now it is at 1.84%. So here is where this one's at now. This is 28 count mushroom Lugana, I believe. 1/1 full cross. I thought the full crosses would look good for this type of design where it's a little more illustrated instead of a half stitch. And I am choosing symbols within a 10 by 10 block across until I hit the edge of this top little block. So I'm stopping here and then I'll focus in more coming down. So I'm almost done with the top row. I'm still picking symbols here, and I just discovered this little like wrought iron doodad thing over here, which is kind of fun to give a little more interest. But I did some greens. I did the top border, I believe, is all done now until this point. And I brought some of that down. So that's fun. Not as far as others. Carolyn, Seazook Stitch, hers is like looking really great. I don't think she's had a ton of time on it yet this summer, but she got way farther last year than I did. So her rose is almost done. But I'll keep chipping away at that for the rest of July and August on Sundays. So we'll see how much I can get done. I also worked on Bear Time Stories for 2 days. I worked on it a little bit on Monday, the 8th, and then also this past Saturday, the 13th. On either edge of a vacation we went on. So this is Mini Bear Time Stories by Randall Spangler. I'm doing this for my middle son. And I'm doing this extreme cross country, and I had been working on picking symbols with the smallest amount of numbers left, and I'd gotten up to, I think they're into the 200s now per color. But that Monday the 8th, I knew I wouldn't have a ton of time, so and as it is, I only got 61 stitches before I had to call it a night. So I decided to pick a bigger color that looked like it had huge chunks of color rather than scattered stitches, because the scattered stitches will take longer to try to count to them to find them. So I wanted even some of the bigger numbers. I think the color with the most stitches had a little bit too much scattering for what I was intending. So I found a color that I saw. All right, big chunks, let's do that one. So I'll go ahead and finish this color before I move back to my other way of doing it. But for now, for this month, with the busyness that I had, it was the right thing to do. So I got 61 stitches on the 8th and 572 stitches on Saturday the 13th, which was great, for a total of 659 half stitches. It's now at 24.68%. So I chose this really dark blue, which a lot of it was right here on the edge of the pillow, and it's a richer blue than it's showing. It's like 820 maybe? And then I did a little bit here, around here, and then filled in on the edge here. So there's more of that blue probably in the edges of the book as well, so I'll just keep chipping away at that this next month as well, and try to finish that blue before I move on, because I still want to color complete it. I needed something a little bit more straightforward where I could get numbers quicker. So I needed the chunks. So that fit the bill for this month. And who knows, August might be busy as well. Probably will be, because that first week of August when I usually, well, yeah, there'll be some Olympic stitching in there too. So it'll be good. It'll be good to keep having that block color there. So is that everything? Oh no, I started my rotation on Lollipop, which I'll go ahead and show you, which I'll work on it again today if I get any time. We'll see though. Today's gonna be busy, and I have a book club to go to tonight, and I still have 189 stitches to do on Visit Endor. So we'll see how much, if any, I get on Lollipop today. But I did 500 stitches yesterday, and even 500, which is cool. I counted off the last row I had stitched. It was exactly 500. And I'm like, well, that's what I need to do. I got over to the moon, which is fun. So I did a few lighter blues to fill in all the little bonus stitches. And then one strand of like the highlight in the moon, which is the slightly lighter, darker blue. I mean, most of the moon is 3865, which on my white even weave is a little hard to see. But at least I don't have very much of that color. Most of this design is not white, so that'll be good. So here is where I'm at now. This is 40 count white Verdal 1/1 half stitches. And I think Smokey might be trying to come in, which is funny. But I worked in here, filled in these light blues, which a little bit was over here too actually, and then started in on the white. And I had pulled a long string. I've got more of it on my needle. So if I have any time, I'll keep putting in that white and try to get as much of it done as I can. The tip of the dragon wing, one of them comes out here, one of them is over here. So it'll be cutting into the moon. So that'll be fun. Before as I move across that top 10 by 10 square, picking symbols, I will get those dragon wing colors, which will be fun, which will probably flow down into the dragon. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. Probably won't be for a few more months, but we'll see. And then visit Endor, which I keep talking about, but never showing. This has been my Tour de France stitching. So almost every day, not that one, this one. Country Magic Stitch, Visit Endor, and I'm making great strides on this. At the end of, I think Sunday, the 21st is the last day, I'll have 3,500 stitches completed during this challenge, so that's cool. I don't know my total that I've gotten to, that I've done in the last 2 weeks, but I've done a lot. And this is 28 count Dove Gray Monaco 1/1. Just kidding, 2/2. 2/1 half stitches. 2/1, a 2-stranded half stitch. And it is now, every time I do my Tour de France stitching, I'll check it off that I finished it. I'm doing the exact amount of stitches for the challenge and no more. And then I'll record the percentage I got that day. So as of Sunday night, I'm at 85.73%, which is very cool. So you can see the start of the top of the word visit right here. It will be filled in with a light gray. And then I've got the meadow is pretty much finished. The rocks are starting. A lot of the trees are finished now. Pretty fun. So I will keep chipping away at that one more week, and that will be great. And then my only other plan, I guess I'm all the way to plans now. This week I'll do one more day on Lollipop, 2 days on Those Who Sing, and my seasonal Sunday piece. So Friday and Saturday I'm going to work on my other full coverage Whipco piece, which is Magic of Christmas, which I guess counts for Christmas in July too, because I didn't really do any of that, but this is what was called for Whipco, so it works. Christmas in July, there we go. This is by Nadia Strokina, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I believe this is my largest project by stitch count. So I am doing this also on a 40 count linen, which might be the same linen as Grand Library. It's distinctly possible. So here is the top starting point for this one. 1/1 half stitches. There's like an icicle in the window, and that's my starting point. So I'll see what sort of progress I can make on that one in 2 days on Friday and Saturday. So that'll be fun. So the following week I'll show you them next time, but I'll be working on my 2 non-full coverage Whipco pieces. And then I'm going to start my Olympics challenge. So if you've been, I need to get a new needle on this, I guess. If you've been interested in a Olympics challenge that has themes, the one in the Full Coverage Fanatics group this year is just numbers of stitches, which wasn't as exciting to me. But then I found on Instagram the Naptime Stitcher. She has a calendar with themes for each day. So I loved that idea a little bit better. So a couple weeks ago, I went through and assigned projects to the themes on for July. So I'm gonna wait and assign the days of August until I know the Whipco calls for August to see if any of those pieces can fit the themes. But my The Olympics start on July 26th, and so the 26th through the 31st, I have all my projects picked, and one of them includes the new start I already planned to do in July, and since the first day of that was do a new start or your most recent start, it's like, well, I was going to do a new start anyway, so I'll show you what that's going to be. That's going to be Tilton Crafts Stained Glass Birds 1, which is this pretty cardinal. And I thought this kind of sort of fit Christmas in July as well. We don't have cardinals around here, but they do kind of seem wintry birds, I guess. So anyways, I might be doing this extreme cross country starting with the black and then fill it in the colors, little bits, but I might just stitch it because all the colors are so pretty. And then I have a couple other ones that were not normally something I would work on in July, but they fit the prompts really well. So that's partially how I ended up with forgetting about my second Whipco piece. So my two non-full coverage Whipco pieces will get love next week, right before the Olympic stitching starts. So I'll kind of share all of that next week. So I think that's everything. And it's time for lunch now. So I'll head out, and I hope you have a wonderful week and enjoy what you're working on. Happy stitching. Bye.